Hello friends. Today I'm going to share a very important information with you, which is something definitely new for you, and this we can use for various purposes. This information is about how normally we learn, or how normally we use our senses to work. Uh, Let me give you a prelude of the talk. Before that, I would like to tell you that I am absolutely thankful that you are with me and you are liking my videos. You are liking the content. I'm getting positive feedbacks on my content, and I am thankful to all of you who are watching my video, who have subscribed me, and who are joining me on this vlog. Now, still, if you haven't subscribed, please, I would request you to please subscribe and click it here, and please click on the bell, the notifications also. And I promise you, there will be no nonsense videos. You'll have all value for money videos if you watch my videos, because the content is highly categorized and the content is highly customized for the sake of sharing with you. Now, there was something I wanted to discuss today. Ashish Nagar always has something good and something great to share with you. And yes, definitely today also I have something that is value that will be of value to you. Right? So, how do normally we learn? Right? Let me start with a certain basics. Right? The basics is whatever we receive in our body. For example, that there are three portions of any learning or the normal curvature, how we take the information. It can be XYZ information that we are having. We take the information in three phases, right? The first phase of information is reception, or receiving the information. The second phase of information is processing of the information, and the third phase is storage of the information. Right? Hope you understand this much. The three phases are reception, the perception or the processing, and the storage of information. Right? Now, whenever we receive the information, wherever in our body, we have five senses to receive the information. The first is our eyes, number one. The second one is our ears, right? The third, these are the serial number is based on the amount the system helps us to take the information. The first is the eye or the vision. Second is the ears or the auditory. The third is the touch or the tactile. The fourth is the smell, the nose, and the fifth is the taste or the tongue. These are the five sensations how we normally store the information. The smell and tongue, like the olfactory and the gustatory, are more related to our eating habits, right, and some specific habits. But generally speaking, rest of all the information is being taken by visual, auditory, and the touch or the tactile or the kinesthetic. You can see various words used for it. There can be tactile sensation, this can be kinesthetic sensation, and we more relate with the kinesthetic, because kinesthetic means the movements, and the movements are generated by our muscles, and muscles store the information about the position of the body at the point of time when we are experiencing something, right? Now, let me give you a small example. If you go into a birthday party, how do you know it is a birthday party? Because there will be lights, either there will be bright lights or there will be colorful lights that are blinking around, right? There will be a loud music because it's a birthday party and it's a dance party sort of thing. There will be a loud music that you define it that it is a party. And third thing, you'll be dancing. So the kinesthetic will tell that you are dancing in rhythm of the music, so you are definitely in a party, right? So how do we define party? We define the party with the visual images, we define the party with the auditory music, and we define the party with the movement or kinesthesia that will happen. Anything in this world goes inside us, goes through these three senses, which are known as the visual or the sight, the auditory or the sound, and the kinesthetic or the touch sensation. Right now, do you know probably this information might be new for you, right? So I'll go a step further and tell you that do you know that we all store information using these three senses in various proportions. Yes, what I mean by various proportions, the various proportions means some people use their vision more profoundly, right? And some people use their ears more profoundly, and some people use their touch more profoundly, right? So, or kinesthesia more profoundly, right? So there are people who are more, who use their vision or eyes, who depend on their eyes more for anything. For example, 70% of the population, 70% of the population depends more. We are over dependent on our eyes. We substitute our eyes for everything and anything, because the first reception of anything in our brain goes from our eyes. If you have got a new food joint, right, and you want to make out whether the food is good or not, even before you smell it or even before you taste it, when you are searching for it on any site, right, you are searching a restaurant on any site, or you are going through the Zomato or the Swiggy type of site, which are the food ordering sites, and you see the pictures first. What do you see? You see the pictures first, and if the picture looks attractive or lucrative, then you take a decision that okay, this is looking good, let us order this, right? So what do? The first thing we do is we take it through the eyes. So it is the visual sense that we use the main, right? Now second is the auditory sense. Now you are sitting and searching it with your friends, and one of your friends says that this is a good joint, I ordered the food previously and it is really good, the food is very tasty. So you got the auditory input. The other friend is saying that food is very tasty, but some days it is good, some days he just sends a routine food. So again you got a negative auditory input, right? So then your brain judges that the food is looking good, and he is saying the food is good. He is saying some days the food might not be good. It's okay, let us give it a try, right? So then your kinesthesia comes into action, and it just selects the joint. You order the food that is to be bought, and you place the order, right? So do you see how, yet even when we are talking about food, still the olfactory and the gustatory have not worked yet. They will be working in confirmation when the order comes to you, and when you receive the parcels, you open the parcel, you correlate that yes, it was same as I saw it, it was good as I heard that the food is good, right? And when you open it and you feel it, you just feel the softiness of the food, the freshness of the vegetables. You feel it when you take it in hand, and then you smell it, and then you just place it inside. So this was just an example about food. XYZ experience. It can be XYZ. Yeah, I mean to say any experience in the body is done by basically these three senses: the sense of vision, the sense of auditory, and the sense of kinesthesia. Now, what is more abstract is some people might be using more of the visions, some others might be using more of the auditory, and few might be using more of the kinesthesia. So how do we find this out, right? There is a very simple technique in which we can find it out. Now that technique I'll discuss at the last of the video, because you need me, yes, definitely, to do that technique. You can find information, but exactly finding out that what is more prominent in which person and how it helps the person or how it helps the child is more important. Now, as grown-ups, as we are grown-ups, we might not be more involved in what type of sensation a person is using until unless the person understands everything. Now, for an example, if you see, if there are some people with who are visual impaired, right? If they are visual impaired, their senses of auditory and touch are very strong. They can almost smell, touch, and listen your voice and say who is around. right? Equally, if somebody is dumb, he is deaf and dumb, his sense of vision is very strong, so he can read your lips and he can just guess what you want to say, right? Equally, if somebody is having impaired sensation, for example, somebody because of any reason is having a paralysis and he's having an impaired sensation, he cannot move his body, then his visual and auditory will be very strong to safeguard around you. At last, these senses are given to us so that we remain safe in this environment, right? So and we allow only those things to enter inside which are concerned to us. For example, you are standing on a railway station. You are listening thousands of sounds. You are listening many people talking around. You are seeing so many visuals. You are seeing so many trains coming and going. But the moment they utter your train number and platform number, your ears auditory is attracted to only that particular number and the name of the train which you are interested in. We are absolutely selective, right? And then you reach on that platform and you see only that train which is having that name and that number, and you see only that berth and that bogie which is allotted to you, that coach that is allotted to you. We are absolutely selective in this particular thing, absolutely selective. Our body dislikes filling garbage inside. We do like it. We are more interested in overhearing the things and overseeing the things, right? We see something and our mind makes an image without knowing actually what is going on. Our mind projects what will be the scene and what would have been happened, and so we are so much addicted to the social media, and we are so much addicted to the media in television, especially the news media, right? Because they show us what they want to show us, and we see what we want to see. Yes, this is a little bit puzzling type of sentence. So let me tell you, if I am having, say, this fog spray in my hand, when it is towards you, you can see the fog written over there. But on my side, I can see other gibberish printed on the back of the spray, right? We don't need to read so much before using a spray, but it is there, right, to throw it. So when we are looking at the same thing, the view from your side is different and the view from my side is different. Are you getting what I want to say? All right. So we see the things same, but we perceive the things depending on our perception or our perception or our stored information, right? If somebody doesn't know what a deo spray is or what type of these sprays are available, for him this thing is something, okay, he might say that this is a type of mosquito repellent spray because he has not seen a deo of this size. He'll feel that this is a protective spray or this is a mosquito repellent spray that you are carrying with you, right? Because he doesn't know the definition of deodorant and he doesn't know the definition of fog or the definition of whatever is into this. This is just an example, right? But if somebody is very much fond of applying deo, like I am, yes, definitely I am, so he might be knowing and he might be looking at, okay, you have this pocket spray with you, so he could perceive the thing as it is, right? But if you don't know, you perceive the things as you see to them. Now the first event is reception. Even we say it, even is reception. Reception means, see, normally many of the jokes and many of the videos that we watch on TikTok and many of the videos that we watch which are made for entertainment, if you would have seen those videos very clearly, there is something going on, and when the cameraman goes nearby, the complete thing diverts into something that was unexpected, which creates a laugh. Fine. So you see that a person is running on the road. They just show that a person is running on the road. You never know why he is running on the road, right? And then when you turn the camera from back of the guy to the front of the guy, you see that there are probably some dogs behind the guy who are barking and who are running behind him. So looking at from the back of the guy and running, you see that okay, he is exercising and he is doing the running exercise in the morning. But when you turn the perspective of the camera, you see that because there are 2-3 dogs behind that person, that is the case that he is running so fast and he's not jogging over there. So do you understand the perceptive, right? So what do we do here? We normally store any information that we are receiving through these things, right? So E1 is receiving the information. Event 1 is receiving the information as it is, without any adulteration, without any filtration of the information. You go to Amazon and you try to purchase something, then the Amazon asks you that the search is very broad, please add filters to narrow your search. Similar thing, they have learned it from our brain itself. What the brain does, the brain collects all the information that is going inside, then it applies super filtration. At any given point of time, you are receiving minimum of 2 to 2.5 lakh stimulus when you are traveling in a market through all your senses. There is a certain type of smell, there is a certain type of vision that is going on, there are thousands of sounds that are going on, and there are thousands of feeling, it's a hot air or cold air, or if somebody goes and the sari touches you, and if some harsh guy goes and something touches you, and somebody hits you with a cycle, you get thousands and lakhs of inputs, but your brain superfines it clearly filters out all the information and stores only 5 to 7 important information in the brain. Right? Now this has been told. If your brain keeps on collecting 2 to 2.5 lakh inputs per second in your brain, by the age of 10 years, your brain would have been completely used up. Although we are having 82,000 GB data in your brain, still the brain works on a super filtration method, so it doesn't accept everything that goes inside. So E1 is an event as we receive it. E2 is the event that is based on our senses and our previous information. So the information is either deleted, it is distorted, right, and then it is generalized. So let me give you an example. You are going through a busy marketplace. Right? And you are searching for a sort of t-shirt in the shops around. Fine. So you are looking at all the places, and you are listening to all the sounds, and you are just touching the clothes hanging aside on the shops. Right? So whatever is not required, either in this or this or this, is directly deleted. Right? Whatever is required, it will be an option. Okay, if I don't get this type of cloth and t-shirt, I'll purchase this. So it is distorted and it is saved for later use in your brain. The third thing is generalization. If you see clothes everywhere, you do not go and touch every cloth, because it is generalized that you are walking in a clothes market. That means there will be clothes. So there will be lots and lots of clothes. So it is generalized and it is nullated. It is deleted from your brain. Fine. Now you went to a particular shop and you did not get the t-shirt that you wished to. You saw a t-shirt of same pattern, you didn't. You come back to that shop where you touched the shirt and you said, this is also good. That is the distorted information. Right? So I hope you are with me when I'm explaining you this particular concept. The concept of deletion, distortion and generalization. This is the way that is the perception. What is the perception? I just said you once again. Perception is the viewpoint, how we take the things. Right? Now you will say, by Ashish, everything is good. But how is all this related to VAK? Yes, I'm just coming to that. Fine. Out of this deletion, distortion and generalization of the information, some information is processed, that is visual, that is V. That is what we saw or what we saw movie. Some information that is saved is through the auditory input, right? And some information is kinesthetic. So you got the point. I guess. Fine. So let me summarize this whole story that I am saying since last 10 minutes. Fine. Each and everything that we see in this external environment is reflected in our internal environment by our senses. The senses mainly working are the sense of vision, the sense of hearing or auditory, and the sense of touch or tactile sensation. Alright, so touch or feeling or movement, right? So what basically happens is, whenever you are taking this information, if you process visuals more commonly, you will be a visual personality. Again, if a person remembers by looking at the things more, he is a visual personality. You call it as V. If a person remembers more by listening, that is an auditory personality. And if a person feels more, he feels everything, he feels, oh, I feel this cloth is good, I feel this food will be good, I feel this is, he'll not say that look wise this is looking good. So when you are grown up, you automatically create a balance in between all these three sensations. But in children, in our kids who are growing up, we cannot normally, they cannot normally differentiate between this. So there is a dysynchronization in the kid in learning and the way he is being taught. Right, now I'll come to the point. The gist of the whole video that I am discussing since last 20 minutes is, there are three types which we learn the things very clearly in our brain. The first is the visual, the auditory, and the kinesthetic. Right? Now, if your kid learns most of the things by seeing or reading, he is a visual kid. If your kid learns most of the things by speaking and listening, he is a auditory kid. And if your kid learns most of the things by touch or feeling, he is a kinesthetic kid. How does this matter? Yes, very good. A visual kid will learn more by looking at the images and the pictures running around. Right? He will be more engrossed in reading. He'll be more engrossed in watching television. He'll be more engrossed in mobile screens. So much engrossed that even if you call him at that point of time, even if he's reading a book, he will not listen and he will not respond. This is a visual kid. The auditory kid, on the contrary, will respond more to heard. Now, dyslexic children are normally auditory. Dyslexic children are normally auditory. They believe on heard sounds. Normally, when we learn a foreign language, spoken language, we learn it through the auditory sense. And so, anybody writing a spoken language will never write the spellings correctly. If you see his spellings, he'll be writing the spellings wrongly because he is writing them by audition. He just takes, if you tell him to write no, he will write no, no. Right? Even if it is a KNOW, know what you intended, he will write no. Right? So there is a jumbling of the words, and the person, he could not actually make an image of the alphabet in his brain. So he could not reproduce the alphabet, and he writes the spellings which he hears. That is auditory. He hears the spellings and writes it down rather than seeing the spelling and writing it down. And so such kids will be having a lot of spelling mistakes. They will be writing very upside down. Their writing will be very irregular, and they will not be responding to visions. Right? Even when you are playing a movie, if you are watching a movie with an auditory kid, he will not be very much impressed with the visuals. Rather, he'll laugh on the base of the music that he hears more, or he will express his things when the music is more. The third time that we were discussing was the kinesthetic one. Yeah, sorry for the interruption. So we were talking about the auditory kid. The last is the kinesthetic kid. The kinesthetic kid would not see the things more, and he would not remember through auditory. He has to feel the things to understand them. Right? So you have to bring feeling. So kinesthetic kids are more hyperactive. Our doctors, and normally we grade them as ADHD. We tell them as they are having attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or we tell them as attention deficit disorder, or we tell them that they are attention hyperactivity disorder. So it is not a hyperactivity disorder. Those kids are more kinesthetic. They cannot sit at one place at any given point of time. They will be keeping on jumping. They'll be using something in the hand. They'll be moving something in the hand. They'll be breaking something. They'll not listen what you say. They'll not see what you want to show. They'll be having something in their hand. They'll be knocking it down on the table. They'll be knocking down on the head. Every time they are jumping around. They cannot sit in one place and learn. These are which we grade them as attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. These are not hyperactive children. They are children with more of kinesthetic sense. They are very good in practicals. If you give them something to make or join the parts and make something, they'll be doing it very effectively and very nicely. If your kid is doing all the three things very effectively, that means your kid is good and in balance. This is the basic sense. Right now what our schools are teaching are phonics. They are teaching the alphabets and they are teaching the words using the phonics, and they are using the kinesthetic, the games also to train the kid. They are trying their level best to do this. But if your kid is visual and if his teacher is auditory, right, so she'll shout and shout and shout in the class, and your kid is a visual kid, he cannot listen. Now I am talking to you. If you are a visual guy, you can see my expressions and you will try to understand what I am saying, right? If you are auditory, you will pick up the point very fast. If you are kinesthetic, still you will be able to relate because I am having a lot of hand movements when I speak. I can speak without the hand movements. But if you are visuals, you will play the video slowly, you will pause the video, you will go back in the video and you will try to find out what is it. So this video was an introduction for the three senses, how we learn and how we actually receive the things, right? The reception is through three senses: visual, auditory and kinesthetic, and two more senses which are used less: the olfactory, that means the smell, and the gustatory, that means the taste, right? So those five senses we use to collect whatever we receive from the environment. Then the information is deleted, distorted and generalized before getting stored in the brain. This deletion, distortion and generalized will be done more with one sense, that is your primary sense of working, and depending on those primary sense, out of the three main senses, the visual, auditory and the kinesthetic, it is decided what type of personality you are and what type of learning you are. The applicability of this visual, auditory and kinesthetic will be discussed in the next video. So please stay tuned with me with lots and lots of loads and loads of good information which you can apply and improvise the learning of your kid, as well as you can improvise your own prototype, what you are and how you will be applying this. Next video, I'll brief something about what is your prototype and how you can improve it. If you want that your kid should undergo a VAK analysis or you need to undergo a VAK analysis, right, please pen down in my email ID that is given in the description box. You can even contact me. You can just leave a message, fine, in the comment box and with your number, and we can get in touch. So right now I'm based in Ahmedabad. So within Ahmedabad, if you are there and if you want a VAK analysis done, probably you will be more motivated for that after my next video, where I am going to summarize the conclusions of VAK and how it helps in forming our life or how it can help us improve our way of life, right? So that's it for today. This is Ashish Nagar, and if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, stay tuned. Please subscribe, please like the videos, leave a comment in the comment box if you really like the video, if you feel that it is worth it, it is giving value, and if it is adding value. Share the video if you feel the information is really attractive and the information is really worth it, fine. And please, if you have any problem that you feel that I can be helpful, leave it in the comment box below. Waiting for your comments, waiting for your videos. Ashish Nagar signing off from here. Stay wow, stay awesome. Bye bye.